Mary Bennet is the third of 5 sisters, which is to say that she's the middle one and that she views the world from 2 different perspectives. From one point of view, she is the younger sister who is not as pretty and adored as her 2 elder sisters. The eldest daughter Jane has been described as the prettiest, and because she naturally confides in Elizabeth, Mary sees herself as on the outside from these 2. By contrast, Mary plays the older sister to the 2 youngest girls of the family, who are notorious for flirting with men. Her father, Mr. Bennet, tends to lump her in with these 2, even as he states how they have nothing to recommend them. But he has been wrong to do this, and he seems vaguely aware of the fact. He seems to value Mary's opinion as he says to her, "For you are a young lady of deep reflection, I know, and read great books, and make extracts." Mary's principal fault is that she is guilty of the crime of being plain. And so the insinuation of her lacking in traits considered to be interesting or even normal has been associated with her. In truth, the claim does not entirely add up. Mary has talent and she's incredibly smart. And yet, since she does not have a certain sister to pair with, she seems to have been doomed to formally being the odd one out. The youngest girl, Lydia, pays no attention to her, and so it is significant that Mrs. Bennet claims Lydia as her favourite. Mrs. Bennet enables Lydia's rambunctious behaviour and, by proxy, young Catherine's, and with the 3 of these aligned among themselves, Mary's relationship with her mother is skewed. We see this when Mr. Collins returns after being rejected by Elizabeth, and Mrs. Bennet's inclination is to set him up with Mary. It comes off as revealing that she would try to save her 2 favourites for different types of men. Mary's role as the middle sister has forced her to work on carving out her identity. She's a prolific reader of books and she's assertive in her musical pursuits. When Elizabeth one evening had been playing the piano and singing, indeed she was pleasant to listen to, but it was Mary who afterwards hammered out an entire concerto. She's credited as well for performing Scotch and Irish airs for the pleasure of dancing, which means that she understands the importance of metronome and meter. Since Mary doesn't have a specific sister to bond with, her pursuit of accomplishment serves to build her self-esteem and confidence at the expense of her prospects in the marriage market. To satisfy Mrs. Bennet's need to have her daughters married, they must be proactive in their social affairs, but Mary is reclusive. When Jane cares for Mrs. Bennet during the affair with Lydia, Mary studies so much that her hours of repose should not be interrupted. And when the time came for walking, Mary could never spare the time, which was certain to hinder that chance encounter with a young man who might have sought her hand. In a different world, Mary's talent as a musician could have led to a career in music. But in this world, she's eventually consigned and fated to babysitting her mother. For Mary was the only daughter who remained at home. And she was necessarily drawn from the pursuit of accomplishments by Mrs. Bennet's being quite unable to sit alone. She's been accused of having a pedantic edge, but isn't this really brilliance at the earliest stage? In a world that identifies her as being plain, Mary's inclination is to stand out, to earn recognition. By easily quipping the phrase that every impulse of feeling should be guided by reason, she situates herself among the finest philosophers of her day. A woman of Mary's acumen could even find herself a successor to someone like Mary Wollstonecraft. From where she learns about the nature of pride, we do not know, but she is positively marveling when she expounds on her understanding of the condition. By this paragraph alone, we are able to deduce many things about Mary, who's barely 20 years of age. She has a studied opinion about the condition of pride. She has a vocabulary that allows her to expand on that opinion. She's able to distinguish between abstract concepts that are similar in meaning, with the addition of supporting the distinction with proper definitions. And her clear understanding of pride as a common failing of character must mean that she also has knowledge on the subject of religion. Mary must know that pride is the deadliest sin, just as she understands the principle of the olive branch, which she refers to in her study of the Collins letter. When Lydia's elopement wreaks havoc on the family, Mary offers up words of comfort.
We must pour into the wounded bosom of each other the balm of sisterly consolation.
But she follows up with words on the loss of virtue in women, which do in fact come across as rather showy. But she had been saying all this specifically to Elizabeth, who had lifted up her eyes in amazement. That is correct. Lizzie had apparently been, in that moment, amazed by Mary's skill and prowess as one who observes and reflects on the trials and tribulations of life. The film renditions of Mary Bennet's performance at the Netherfield Ball present various interpretations of the event, and it is for us to decide which one comes closest to our understanding of the real Mary. For example, in the version from 1940, Mary sings without playing the piano, which is as the text describes. Also, as described, there is encouragement that she should sing another song. Though she is cut off, what's important is Mary's reaction, which is that she merely looks disconcerted. In the version from 1980, Mary is seen both playing the piano and singing, and she is told by her mother that one song will do. Mary's reaction seems reasonable, and she appears to accept the situation with maturity. The 1995 version has Mary playing the piano, all the while singing in a manner that has the animals outside reacting to her voice. The scene may intend to be light-hearted and comical, but at best, it is insulting. When Mr. Bennet tells her that she has performed quite enough, Mary's reaction is affected by a sense of shame. In 2005, Mary's age seems to look reduced, like she's some kind of a child. She tries to play and sing, and her father cuts her off, but instead of being merely disconcerted, her feelings of shame have been taken to the degree that she has been driven to tears. In actuality, it is probably the version from 1940 that comes closest to what we are looking for. Mary looks like she's around 18 years old. She is singing, but she's not playing the piano. A man from the audience makes a request for another song, and she is told by her father, at the behest of Elizabeth, that her moment is over. And she reacts very simply without being over-affected. While it seems strange that a man would request another song, it stands to reason that there might be other people who might like to hear more of Mary's performance. It may be fair to say that Mary has trouble singing, but from this we can deduce that it's quite possible those who can play entire piano concertos may not always have their talents transferred to the voice. Mary's place in the sisterhood has her predestined to stand out from the others. Elizabeth has her Jane and Lydia has her Kitty, which leaves Mary to isolate with her studies. But her pursuit of accomplishment makes her anything but plain. It makes her extraordinary. Mary Bennet's potential as a member of society, as a woman of accomplishment and potential achievement, has been stifled by a world that doesn't know what to do with her. In this regard, we are forced to ask ourselves, why is it that Georgiana should be getting all the recognition? Booktime Learning is dedicated to the study of writing and literature. If this video has been enjoyable or helpful in any way, please consider clicking the like button and/or subscribing. And thank you for watching.